Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are here, and once again, it is our great pleasure to be in your reality. Now, the topic of our discussion is the hidden design of reality. And this hidden design of reality is we are going to discuss with you the various aspects that are hidden from, let's say, obvious observers. And we are also going to point out the, let's say, changes that will transpire in your personal experience and collective reality over the next 15 years. This is February number 16, 2014. You are, from our point of view, 1 year into what we call the change over times. And these years, again approximately 15, are characterized by a massive series of slowdowns throughout all aspects of society. One could say that the inclement weather that most of the United States has been dealing with certainly put the brakes on many aspects of living. It was difficult to get around. People had, let's say, less funds, less money, less work. The economy slows down. Your speed of what you can do slows down. This is just the beginning. This does not imply that the remainder of the changeover years will have greater adverse weather to slow you down, but the weather is one way in which the speed of life is altered. And this alteration, this slowdown, is needed because the previous 25 years were basically pedal to the metal kind of energy, super accelerated. And those years from 1987 through 2012, we call that period of time the nanosecond. During those years, everything went faster and faster and faster, so as to tune up your nervous system and, let's say, awaken recessive or dormant knowledge that was stored along the DNA corridor. Now, things have been put into place, and the slowdown is necessary for all people to take a look at their emotions, their thoughts, their lives, and their beliefs. Because all of your beliefs are up for re-evaluation. Many years ago, we advised you that nothing is exactly as it appears to be. And that is more true today than ever before. We will go into the, let's say, Ponzi schemes and some of the subterfuges that are being played out right before your eyes in the media, through all manner of world leadership. There's hardly any news that is presented to you that has the full, let's say, blown kernels of truth. And yet the slowdown is going to allow people to see through the various obfuscations, the lies, the deceits, because during the slowdown, the energies are ripe for rebellion. And you will start to see the beginning of the rebellion in this country later on this year. And the rebellion here, let's say, is a direct response to being lied to, being manipulated. It's also a direct response to cosmic energies, planets that are dancing in the heavens, creating auspicious momentum for rebellion. Rebellion is a natural part of living. From history, you have stories, in the biblical terms, of the fallen angels that rebelled, yes? Mm-hmm. They were rebels. From the Anunnaki stories, you have the mutiny, the rebellion of the Igigi. They were considered to be lower-level Anunnaki that were brought to Earth to do hard labor. They were brought here 400,000 years ago. Men of giant stature and renown who were put to work in the various mining facilities that were developed in South Africa and South America, and even here in North America, around the Great Lakes region. The history of your planet has been so covered over and hidden from the large majority of people that it will certainly be a shock as the truths start to come to the surface. As the truths come out from the ground, from whistleblowers, and from your own inner stories, your own DNA, this is what will feed the rebellion. The rebellion will basically be a collective action amongst the people of Earth to stop believing what they used to believe. And when your beliefs no longer work for you, it's not as if it's an outfit that you wear and you put a hat on, you say, oh, this hat doesn't look so good, I'll go and find another. Beliefs are the ideas, thought forms, cultural acceptances that you define yourself around. Beliefs can be as simple as an individual can say, I am a lucky person. Another person in the same family can say, oh, I'm unlucky all the time. And you may think these are pronouncements of facts, but in actuality they are decisions, beliefs, agreements that shape reality, and then reality conforms to, let's say, the belief. That's why beliefs are tricky. It's important to be in touch with your emotions so that you can be honest with yourself and not be a phony person pretending to be one thing while something else is going on. This creates tremendous inner conflict. On the other hand, if you are honest about where you are, it might not be a great space, and what you have to learn to do is not to dwell there, but to simply recognize, this is where I am today, and what is it that is so important about me experiencing this right now. The hidden design of reality is imbued with, let's say, energy, whether it is dark matter, the energy that your scientifics are still attempting to figure out, whether it is the energy of your thoughts, the energy that is played by the gong, all of this is energy, and energy defines your experience of existence. How you use that energy is actually what defines your experience. And it is important to understand in the hidden design that there are many factors that can shape your experience of reality. So, to understand that your thoughts create reality does not mean that if you muck up or mess up, or if you will need a tow truck to pull you out of your emotional doldrums, that you have not failed. This is the double-edged sword of creating your own reality with thoughts. You understand that you have agreements, that you have set up on a soul level to fulfill. You are in a world where all people are creating through thought. Then there are massive belief systems that say that you think are real when they are simply more beliefs, lucky or not lucky. So it comes down to reminding each of you that you are creators and that there is a grand orchestration to the plan of existence, and that you are challenged to figure out how to manage your energies in this particular time that is one of the most unstable yet exhilarating times that humankind has yet to encounter. All right. The hidden design of reality. And as we've said, there are designs, so it can be plural. But let us explore the various nuances with you this afternoon, and we'll start by opening to questions. So please state your first name loud and clear, and let's have a very lively, brilliant discussion this afternoon. Who would like to begin, please?
Please, this is David.
David, welcome.
One of the things that I've been seeing is there's like in places like Argentina, Turkey, lots of countries all over the world. I think I read the unemployment rate among youth in Greece is over 60%. This seems to be spreading all over, and our media is giving it very, very little attention. And then a secondary thing I noticed.
And if we may add,
yes.
So with high levels of unemployment would sort of come the shoe of slowdown. Do you understand?
Right.
Continue.
And they don't seem to be talking about that here. It seems to be very, very little in the media about it. Second thing is there appears to be...
media is mind control, you understand this.
Okay. There seems to be a bunch of banker suicides around bankers around the world who are involved in the gold trading.
Yes, it looks as like it was J.P. Morgan, yes?
Right, among many, but it seems to be spreading. So my comment is the fact that they're not mentioning the economic stuff really in this country, but it seems to be, the shoe seems to be falling all over the world. India, Argentina, Turkey, Brazil, obviously Western Europe. Are they setting us up for something as well?
In what way setting you up?
Are they hiding what's coming? It seems to me that with the interconnectivity of global finances, it's ultimately going to hit here as well.
Absolutely. Now, let's go into this question. The slowdown or the change over years are like putting the brakes on something that has been going at warp speed. And when something's been charging ahead with its own momentum, it takes a while to slow that mechanism down. And the reason your world will slow down is not simply because people are Ponziing you or they are attempting to crash the middle class or to wipe out world society. You are, as a people, headed in a new direction. A direction that will have completely different belief systems as its core foundation. So, yes, they are keeping it from the people in the United States because they know that there are forces in this country that are more than ripe for rebellion. They are, let's say, being re-stimulated energetically from many different timelines, and there have been, let's say, a buildup of armaments. You have many ex-military people who feel betrayed, many people that know many, many, many things. Now, the bankers are being taken out because, let's say, it is true that all of you have a voice inside. We've referred to it as your own Jiminy Cricket. Recall that? Jiminy Cricket, we talked about this many times. He would, advise Pinocchio, yes?
Yes.
And say to him, oh, it's not so good to lie, and this and this and this kind of thing. All people have what you call a conscience, something in them that they can either push down and ignore, or something, the moral compass that keeps rising up. You can call it the soul spirit, the higher self. So within military, within government, within banking, many people have a Jiminy that have said to them, something's wrong or you are doing wrong. You need to take right action. As soon as they take right action, they start, let's say, talking. Everything is surveilled. There's not a thing that you can discuss on any sort of communication device that is not monitored and recorded. Know this. And as a matter of consideration, what you do know about surveillance is minute compared to the level at which you are being surveilled. Now, economic tumbling is inevitable, whether they hide it from you or not. You cannot keep acting as if you have money when you are broke. Your, what do you call it, your GPD, what does that stand for? Gross Domestic Product? In other words, all that you produce in 1 year is now less than the debt that you accrue each year. That does not really bode very well. So people in the U.S. are being entertained to death while they are being tracked in every aspect of their being. Any of you have new automobiles? Anyone here have a new automobile? Oh, good, you are smart. They all spy on you, you know. The new automobiles are going to record your conversations, where you go, what you do, absolutely everything. We have discussed before, who's so interested in so much monitoring and tracking? Not your governments necessarily. It's others, visitors, who've given you the technology and want to see if you are going to break out of their paradigm into something that you cannot even imagine at this point in time. Now, the question David raised, we can pinpoint it for you that in April of this year, 2014, you will have another astrological situation, Uranus square Pluto, along with Mars and Jupiter there, that this is going to be a very big deal. And it's not as if that day, April 20th, 21, is going to be the day, which you are approaching it. And then there will be a movement away from it, and you will be in orb all year. And basically, it is a dismantling configuration that will directly impact the USA. Very much so. What else do you want to know, David?
That's all.
So, who has a question?
Hi, Peace. This is Erin.
Aaron, welcome.
In going back to the hidden designs in our previous discussion about multidimensionality and people becoming more aware or being introduced to it, whether by books or by experiential, is it possible for people that are beginning to experience that to, I don't know, see multidimensional lives of themselves and other people, as well as previous lives or being on other planets, things of that nature?
Absolutely. This is what the years of the nano prepared you for. The acceleration, again, from 87 through 2012, and in 2012 it was, let's say, the finale was your solar system, the sun's alignment with the galactic center. A great transmission of all manner of energy along the electromagnetic spectrum. And what this did was rearrange things in the human biological form. Every human form was affected by this energy, Yet not every human is going to have the same experience. Some humans definitely during those years became more cognizant of living many times, of being able to tune into realities that they normally would not tune into, being able to look on other planets, or being able to receive information from the entirety of the time spectrum. Again, time is a dimension, and it is not what it appears to be. And let's say past, present, and future can actually run concurrent with one another. So the awakening now will continue in great, great numbers. And when you see the rebellion in this country really get going, understand that what you may see are people who are angry and they are fighting this and angry with this. And David brought that up. He wanted to know one time, when people start understanding the truth, will they go out and literally, let's say, rebel in the streets? Yes. And when you start to see this, understand that that is a small symptom. That rebellion in the streets are those who do not know what to do with the energy. But for most people, they will not be in the streets. They will be feeling and opening psychically, intuitively, and being able to explore dimensions. Now, you are multi-dimensional beings. And these rulers, or these fake gods, as you want to call them, gods with a little g, have enticed you as humans to be deeply engaged with the material aspects of existence, the physical reality, the density. Hence, in the last many years, 20 years, the overexposure to stuff, commercialism. And then as people started to, let's say, want all this stuff, then what happened? Most of them got in debt. Yes. And then when you get in debt, it really, really cements you or anchors you to the density of 3D reality. And then materialism, and then you start to feel heavy in yourself because how am I going to pay this off? And if everything is energy, so what? I still owe $100,000 or $300,000, and I'm what am I going to do? So this has been part of a plan and a test to see how do you manage energy. There's nothing wrong with 3D reality and enjoying the creations of material expression. The problem is that if you think that's all there is, then it becomes a one-way street going nowhere. Who else has a comment, a question? Something they want to know.
Please, this is Brian.
Brian, welcome.
I'm very interested in how to use my mind to stay more healthy, especially when there's so many chemicals being introduced to us that we have no choice about breathing or drinking. And I've recently read where the Anunnaki like a radioactive planet, and Fukushima seems to be accomplishing that. So my question to you is, how do we best learn to purify our body and stay healthy?
You're multidimensional, and it is your thought processes, your choices, your decisions, your beliefs that move you from one reality to another. Yet all of you would bet that you are in the same reality from the time you wake up till the time you go to sleep, because it appears that you are in the same reality. Yet reality has layers like an onion, very fine, thin layers. And you literally move into various realities throughout the day that suit your mood, your feelings, and your beliefs. If you are feeling blue, and you really have a reason to feel blue, then you are going to stay in that reality that supports feeling blue. Do you understand? Unless you say, all right, I'm tired of being blue, I want to be in a reality that's all gold in the sunshine. And then pretty much if you give it a little time, you'll find yourself moving into that reality. So a core understanding of the design of reality is that there are many realities that you move in and out of throughout the day. Now, it is fear that lowers your vibration, and it is fear that the global elites, the Illuminatis, the Anunnakis want to keep you in, because then you are more manageable. And if they can distract you enough to keep you fearful of, is this coming, will I make it, will I have enough money, will the fireplace work, whatever your concerns are about health and warmth and survival, which is all a root chakra, the red rose issue, if they can keep you locked there, then they win control over Earth. The larger understanding of reality is that you've outgrown the paradigm. And the Anunnaki know this, and they are terrified that they will lose control of this empire. And the larger understanding of this story is that if you rebel, if you respond to the ripeness of this rebellion that wants to take you to a higher level beyond fear, then this sends out a signal, as all energy basically vibrates with energy. And you are not the only colony of the Anunnaki. You are like radio stations. You are also like the galactic center. You send out signals, and because you have Anunnaki blood in you, other parts of their empire do as well. And this is one of their greatest concerns, is that if you start to pop up, rebellions are going to happen in many other places with other life forms that they have colonized and controlled. Who has something they want to share? Someone's got a story here, we can feel it.
This is Sue.
Sue, welcome.
Thank you. Well, I have a couple. I guess, how about the Sandy Hook?
Yes, the Sandy Hook story. So what did you come across? The researcher who's saying now that nothing is exactly as it appears to be?
Yes.
Yes, a man named Wolfgang Halbig, we believe, with quite a solid reputation, as it appears, in terms of law enforcement, an educator, solid. He's been asking questions. And he's been warned off.
Oh, he has been warned?
Yes, he's been warned off from the Connecticut, by the Connecticut police, and he's basically asking very basic questions, and he's not coming to conclusions, but the implication is that it's very fishy up there at Sandy Hook, and that he's implying that perhaps what they said came down did not come down at all. What do you know, Sue?
Yes. What I know is that they are wanting to put the American public into fear.
And remember, Sandy Hook happened 1 week prior to the solar alignment with the galactic center.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 26 people, which was a key number on the old Mayan calendar. Mayans love 2652. And it was a sacrifice of children, or an enactment of sacrifice of 26 people. Very Mayan, very, very, very Anunnaki to create sacrifice, blood sacrifice. Now, what happened to the original children from Sandy Hook? Understand that if the children were all part of a mind control experiment, so too were the parents.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the parents were moved into position. No offense to Connecticut, but Connecticut's known to have a wealthy clientele. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. A clientele that would have positions in higher echelon of corporations, etc., kind of thing. And again, just like bankers, as Dave was talking about, higher echelon in society, but the Jiminy Cricket wakes up and suddenly they're suicided from all manner of crazy kinds of situations, off of buildings, bridges, no matter. we would say that you are looking at a massive MK Ultra experiment, and we will say to you, some someones were sacrificed. It may not be those children and those teachers, but someone was involved in a blood sacrifice. And if you take it back to the oldest roots of what they did in Mexico for sacrifices, it was what?
They tore their hearts out.
The heart chakra, yes, the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is the center for where the new paradigm will shape itself. It is the center of the power of the person who will use the inner resources. It is the new brain in the body. So to symbolically destroy a heart chakra of people sends out a symbolic signal. And remember, symbols are the language of the dimensions. English may be the language of your culture, your now, but symbolic acts move between the dimensions. And right now you have symbolic acts occurring again at the Olympics, the Sochi Olympics. We will speak about that a little later. What more do you have, Sue, on Sandy Hook?
That's it. I was reading, the vehicle had sent me an article to read, and I was reading what this man, the questions he was asking, and they're very valid questions. And I was wondering more of what had happened, and you answered.
And he was basically saying that all of law enforcement was involved in this, and that it was something that took years of planning. But more than that, he said that a young man, Adam Lanza, all the pictures you saw of him, not to be disrespectful at all, but he probably weighed 75 pounds wet. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. He was very slight. Correct?
Yes, he was.
How could he handle all of the ammunition and all of the armaments that were drawn in?
There was the reporter, the man who's investigating this, was asking some military person who knows what all these weigh, and he says there's no way that person could have carried all those in there.
Not only that, the type of killing that quickly would be almost impossible for someone of such a slight nature, and you have to be pretty good marksman to pull it off. So there's so many holes in the story. What came out of Sandy Hook was, remember right away, Mr. Obama and others wanted to put all kinds of lockdowns on guns, etc. And then you had Gabrielle Giffords a couple years before, and the anti-gun movement. Thank you. This is all predicated on some idea of removing the armaments from the hands of people. Yet it's a double-edged sword. There's a lot of money that's made on armaments, and a lot of Illuminatis are the ones that own these armament companies. And on a larger scale, we've said this before, the Anunnaki are not terrified of your guns or your weapons. That's the government. The Anunnaki are terrified of your mind, of your chakras, of your heart opening to such a degree that it becomes the center of intelligence. It becomes the place through which all decisions are made. This is not really understood at this time, because as beings you are not operating in that capacity. The heart has not really been opened. Oh, you have, each of you, little heart chakra openings here and there, but no one really, as we scan the planet, vibrating with this kind of opening. And it is not time. When the time is right, like all creations, you will have 100th monkey on the heart chakra. In other words, when the time is right, a few learn how, then others pick it up because it's in the air, And then others pick it up, and then suddenly it becomes a full-blown happening. We do not see this occurring until at least 5 more years. And in the next 5 years, what you will be sorting through is acknowledging the hidden design of reality, that you have power, that you are energy, that you are multidimensional. And many of you know this, and your abilities will rise and rise. And yet for the planet, there must be a crash of what you believe and what you believe in, whether you believe in politicians or whether you believe in churches or whether you believe in whatever, playing games. It doesn't make any difference. There's a need to turn the ship of state, and so many things will transpire to turn it. We would say all of you have already turned your minds to something of greater value. Yet, as Brian said, part of the challenge is to meet these obstacles and to learn how to overcome them. And sometimes there are forces that want to stymie your progress. And we'll talk about this more in the next part, the influence of non-physical reality on physical reality. And as your senses grow more attuned, you start to see and know the non-physical components. And in this, you'd best be very careful about who you blab to. Because when you start seeing things that other people cannot see, you'd better be impeccable in your groundingness and your sanity. All right, let's proceed forward now. Does anyone have a topic of discussion that they would like to raise and bring forward?
Peace, this is Deborah, and...
Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you. You gave an entry to my question, and I know in this day and age, with all the smoke screens that are around us, we have to use discernment with who we learn from and who we follow and what we take in to be as truths for ourselves. And so, for instance, I follow, and probably mostly, the Native Americans. And my question is, how much influence has the Anunnaki had with the Native Americans? I feel like they lived in a pure way, left no footprints, but with things being a smokescreen, what do we trust?
Deborah, you are thinking along good lines. First of all, the Anunnaki have their fingerprints and their cells throughout your world. And the Anunnaki have been the behind-the-scenes players in just about every culture and all religions. So when you are looking at people, or you are looking at, let's say, a culture such as the Native Americans, where did their beliefs come from? Who are their gods that influence them? So the certain Anunnakis would track their various people, so to speak, because they do think of themselves as sort of owners or managers of humankind. And they also manipulated the native peoples in such a way to get them to war against each other. One of the Anunnaki signatures is divide and conquer. Why do they continue this divide and conquer? Because if you were to unite and start putting all of your clues together, you would disbelieve and you would come to outgrow them very quickly. And this is what is their motivation in the background. This is their supreme motivation today, that to keep people so confused and to keep you so caught up with the barrage of information that you can't figure out what's happening. Understand that one of the great Illuminati tricks, again the Illuminati referring to the Latin term enlightened ones, one of their great tricks is to mind control people in such a way so that the person can appear to be opposing the Anunnaki, but they are really their puppet. So before you toot anyone's horn about how great they are, just any of you imagine that whoever you have been led to study from, that material was most important for your soul's growth. Forget the person, even if it is we. And then you must sort through to see the truth from the falsehoods. And you must look deep behind the scenes to see what are the affiliations. Is someone owning this person? Is someone, let's say, have secret affiliations? So it's very confusing to figure out who's who. So what you want to do is, rather than hang your hat on a person, you want to feel the truth of the data, and you want to make friends with your physical body so that the body becomes its own dowsing device, so that you use your feelings or your heart chakra to understand the veracity of what's being presented. Lots of people, many people, can be compromised. We are not saying that they will be turned into bad people, because really they are bad underneath, which people can be threatened. Someone threatens your pet, your children, your house, and then you start tap dancing to the tune that they want. So many a person that has started out with very good intentions, they got, what do you call it, too big for your britches? Is that your term? They got too big for their britches, meaning they were getting too full of themselves or too full of truth, and so then they get set up, they get compromised, they get tricked. And we'll say to you, throughout history, many of the greatest proponents, and it's very true today, the greatest proponents who stand out against the forces of tyranny are the representatives of the tyranny itself. Just remember this, please, because you are going to be tricked again and again, and you're going to be tricked with good talking and smooth voices, and it looks like someone standing up for the truth, and then they are really the one to betray you. This has happened again and again in governments, in commerce, in military, in unions, in all manner of deceit. We have maintained that your greatest feat as humans is to be able to read truth from deceit. And that means that you must put your prejudice aside, meaning I like this person or I don't like this person. Sometimes that has nothing to do with it. Sometimes it has everything to do with it. You may tune in and say, this person is not right, there's something wrong, they give me the creeps. And that may be a key. Sometimes you may say, oh, I don't like that person, I don't like their glasses or the way they dress or the way they wear their hair. And you may dismiss someone who really has a complete sincerity with their data. We'll give you a clue that the more far out things are, they're probably closer to the truth. Because, again, nothing is as you picture it, and things are so manipulated. And the media, as we said earlier, is a form of mind control. It is here to occupy you, to keep you entertained so that you do not do individual thinking, so someone does your thinking for you. And this may come shortly. It may all blow up because of the forces that are putting pressure today for the truth, the various truths, to rise to the surface. Who else has a comment, something they want to share about the hidden design of reality? Or the
Laura?
Yes, who is it?
Laura.
Laura, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Along the lines of Hollywood, I would love to know more about that.
About Hollywood?
Yes, currently.
Currently. Currently, it looks like a good 92% of the people are deeply compromised in mind control. Sometimes they start off as just regulars, cracking in. In other words, they're not related, they're not third generation Hollywood royalty or something. They just get in and they do it, and they are good at what they do. Sometimes when they start figuring out what's going on and that some of their fellow actors have strange habits and never come out of character, and they stay in character the entire shoot of the film, they go, what's going on here? And they start to put two and two together, and then they are suicided. They can be suicided in many, many ways. Drug overdoses, automobile wrecks, you name it, it goes on and on. And usually they are suicided for two reasons. Either they can no longer be controlled, or, more than likely, in the case of a few of them, singers, etc., they are worth more dead than they are alive. You get that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that you can go back to Elvis to look for an example of that. You go back to Marilyn Monroe, and then you fill in the blanks over the last few famous singers who suddenly, young, were dead.
And then I was wondering, off subject, about geoengineering and how is that affecting us?
We'll say this, that beings can control the Earth from the moon, and they have. Beings can send meteorites, asteroids, comets past your world to create a change in the geophysical structure. And it's been since the 1970s that a few governments of the world, the US, China, later, of course, not early, but US and Russia at that time, Soviet Union, were given the technologies from ET contacts to create weather modifications. And from the 70s onwards, some little bit in the early 70s, but it really started in the 1977-78, if anyone recalls the extreme weather patterns that were coming about, that were geoengineering the planet. Today, look at the weather that you've had in the last 6 months or the last 2 years. Quite extreme, yes? And instead of landing troops on the ground, one can just simply control the weather with drought or with flooding or with fires. You ruin an economy. You can force a people to migrate. It is said that California now is under 100-year drought, 1,000-year drought, an 800-year drought. It makes no difference. Lake Mead and Lake Powell have gone down, 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 down. California is responsible for a lot of the nation's food. It is being bombarded from the west by high, extreme levels of radiation. Even in Tokyo now today, even though Caroline Kennedy is there acting as if everything is just fine, people are leaving Tokyo in droves, and people want to save their children, and they are wanting to evacuate out of Japan. And you have radiation and drought. This drought could go on for a long period of time, or it could be alleviated. But both instances are about geoengineering. And as happens to California, will affect the entire nation. At another level, we've always said that California would have huge karma to pay for Hollywood, because it is from that little location that they have mucked up the world and given all manner of dark energies and controlled people's minds. That in of itself would have to have some manner of blowback. David, we hear your wheels spinning.
I thank you. I got a question regarding Fukushima. If the governments, and it just doesn't look like it's the U.S. government, it sounds like the Canadian government, the Mexican government are all covering this up from what I've been hearing from friends there. And
Absolutely.
when the people find out what they're covering up, it seems like you're going to have a revolution of I mean, at some point they can't cover this up. I mean, I heard the other day, they said, oh, the metal detectors don't work. Those are, don't pay any attention. Not the metal detectors.
The Geiger counters.
Yeah, the Geiger counters. They're off or whatever. So that's my first question. And then my second question is, if we were so powerful with our minds and creation, can't we just block out collectively the Anunnaki if we all really wake up? So those are two questions.
Well, David, there's the power of the individual, then there's the power of the collective. So when you move your individual reality and you place yourself here and there, that's your own volition. Then when you are dealing with the mass consciousness, that moves much, much slower. So what will the people do? Most people don't want to know things that will rock their boat. So why would they go looking to see if the government's lying? It takes a certain kind of person that's very strong to ride off into the sunset on their horse by themselves. You follow? That would be the kind of people you are. I want know the truth. I'm going after it. But the large majority of people, their plates are so full, their reality is so occupied with engaging in material survival or material enjoyment that they can't even understand it. Here's an example. Our vehicle saw something recently where a man was testing people out in California. And he said, I am giving away free water from Fukushima. Would you like some? And on the bottle, it had that sign that says nuclear radioactive, yes. So this goes on, and he's passing out on Santa Monica Pier or someplace, some pier in California. And 9 out of 10 people say, sure, Fukushima, oh yeah. Yes, new kind of water. It's from Fukushima, and it's going to amp your field up and make you feel well, and all this, full of minerals. He says, the people take it, open the bottle, and chug it down.
Wow.
1 out of 10 says,
no way.
what are you talking about? And then they see the nuclear sign, and they say, hey man, funny, and they walk off. But that's 1 out of 10.
Right.
What does this say about how smart people are about one of the biggest events that's happened on your planet? So will they rebel? Probably not, because they don't want to know. They will more than likely get sick rather than rebel, because many people cannot conceive that people they elected would lie, or that the truth is not on TV. Or the radio, or the internet. Exactly. So these are the odds that you are up against. And when the rebellion comes, yes, there will be people bang, bang, shoot them up, and there'll be all manner of what you call commando and renegade and rebellion forces, guerrilla warfare. All this is, people are stocking up for it. But the majority of people will be befuddled until they have a spiritual awakening. And when all of that stuff starts going to the streets, and they start attacking or subverting the government, then you'll know that the spirit stuff is awakening inside people, and they will be having unexplainable spiritual experiences, and they will start asking and seeking and going. At that point, the internet may well be down. The kill switch may be flipped, because one thing for certain, that's the internet can inform you, but it can really confuse you. And the confusion is very great. It's covering a lot of things, but once the cat's out of the bag, more than likely all of that will go down, so that people will not be able to check on each other or to rally forces. And even if they do, all of it can be tracked. Sort of a conundrum, yes? Now, whenever there's a conundrum, acknowledge it. It looks like I'm backed in a corner. And then you can say, all right, tonight in my dream state, I'm going to come up with solutions because I'm turning it over to higher self. And I did not come here to have a blocked out reality. I came here to use my creativity, to use the raw forces of power that are all around me to bring goodness and to enhance my life. And if you focus on this, it is like prayer. Prayers are answered because prayers condition the space. And so imagining and insisting and holding on to something working out in your favor and in the favor of humankind, this is your spiritual test as a people. What was the other part of the question?
The other question is, if we can create with our minds and our thoughts create reality.
Oh, can you?
Can we block the Anunnaki and send them back to the hole they came from, or whatever?
This is already occurring, absolutely, because many people are seeing through things. More books are being written, films are being made, discoveries are coming out to the ground all the time, and wait till you find out what gets ripped open about the U.S. of A. Goodness gracious. There's many discoveries about remnants of Anunnaki civilization from about 200 to 250,000 years ago, all over the U.S. Someone recently said that there's a wall that has been found in Texas, and someplace around Rock Wall, what a name, Texas, and this wall is massive. It is all made from homemade rock. In other words, it's not quarried rock, it's poured rock. And the wall is something like 20 miles long, and we forget how thick, but massive, massive, indicative of very old civilization here in the USA. And there are many, many, many other remnants that were from Anunnaki days. So can you just unplug and stop believing in them? Yes, this is the process that you are engaged in. And they are engaged in fighting amongst themselves over who is going to have rulership over this next age, the age of Aquarius. So it's one big muddle, but it's one big orchestration that has a higher order to it. And there are players far beyond the Anunnaki, who hold the space open for you and the Anunnaki and others to come into their own, to extricate yourself from pain and separation, from war and hatred and anger and competition, and to find a place to vibrate with the miraculous, glorious, life-sustaining oneness of the multiverse, the gift of Prime Creator. And so hang in there. As we said, have a good time. Schedule in events that uplift your lives, because you are so engaged in what you are doing you can't even see it. Who else has a question?
I just have one more.
Yes, this is Jess.
Yes. I just was wondering about the dream state. If you could elaborate on multidimensionality and for some people who might have really vivid dreams, maybe just enlighten me on what we do while we're dreaming, or who we're in contact with, and what, or any ways we could sort of control that or explore those dimensions, maybe?
Well, you certainly, if you're having vivid dreams now as a young lady, we would say that you are being called to explore this reality. The simplest way that we can describe the dream state is such that it is a playground where you play, you leave the body when you dream, and you play in a fluid environment that is a chemical component of your mind. And if you look at the little sign here, it shows that the lower vibration, the slower your brainwave cycles go, you move into a state we call the potato in the garden of the mind, but in the scientific model it is called delta, or 4 cycles per second or less. So the brain cycles slow down, the chemicals change, and you literally play with probable realities. You sort of test things out. You've certainly been shopping to buy clothes, where you go to a store and you say this, 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 and this, and then in general, unless you are very confident, you take them into the dressing room and you put them on and you say yes, yay, nay, can I afford this, etc., and you make a choice. Shopping this is sort of what you do in the dream state.
Life shopping.
You reality shop. You work out answers to problems. You often take your driver's test before you take your driver's test in physical reality. You often check out your marriage before you get married. You have more freedom to explore. It is a very fluid state. It is a very psychic state. Many people, many cultures have encouraged people to learn how to wake up in the dream state. Do you know what this means, Jess?
Are you talking about lucid dreaming?
Lucid dreaming, yes, but it's also when you wake up, you're dreaming, and you're in a dream, let's say. And then suddenly the dream is cruising along and you are in it, and then you say, wow, I am dreaming.
I've been working on it.
Right. And the way to do that is you look for your feet or your hands.
Okay.
It's a technique. And then you say, wow, I'm dreaming. Then the power comes. Because then you can change the dream. And you can play with it. And you can do many, many things. Once you start accomplishing this is a very, very important key, and it's part of the hidden design of reality.
You can do it in the real life.
Then you do it in real life. Then you say to yourself, aha, and when you have a dream like that, remember it. Whatever you can change in it, because in the dream, if a lion is coming at you, you can turn it into a kitten. If you are trapped somewhere and there's a tidal wave coming, you can conjure up an airplane and jump into the plane and fly away. Or you can simply say, I don't have to go out with this tidal wave, I'm dreaming, I think I'll just wake up. But what all these things do, to conjure up a plane and to fly away, even if you don't know how to fly, you are using your skills of creativity, imagination, and using the energy of existence to make something in this playground. And you play with it. And you know when you wake up you are fine and there's no mistakes, and even if you die in the dream state, I'm glad here I am. And so it's a place to play. The dreams can also have premonitions, they can have warnings, but mostly they are about shopping for the reality that you want. So that is why it's very important for all of you to condition your dream state before you fall asleep. And you can say, tonight in the dream state, I am going to meet with, or I am going to do this, or I am going to be youth regenerated, or I am going to work with the healers, or I am going to take the test tonight, so that tomorrow when I take the test in school, I know all the answers. Oh yes, you can do that. Absolutely. The power is unlimited. Now, first of all, we want to let you know that you come from good genes and you've had good parents.
Thank you.
And that is important for them to know too, because you are an extraordinary woman
I appreciate that.
for a young lady. And your sign is what? When were you born?
March 4th.
March 4th. Well, then you are a Pisces.
Yes.
And that means that March 4th, you're going to be in it a little bit now, just like the USA, but it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's working for you. But a Pisces, ask George Ward. He's Mr. Pisces himself.
Talks about it.
There's a lot of ability to dream.
Yes.
It is tremendous. So you want to set those dreams up into motion. Do you keep a dreaming journal?
Every night.
Good. Then that dreaming journal can empower you, because what you can start achieving in your dreams, when you can change your dreams, it will act as a confidence builder
Yes.
for what you can then meet in reality. Know that because you are developing skills, very advanced skills for a young woman, that you will be very tested in this lifetime.
Yes, I know.
Not so much now, but you will be tested certainly when you are in your late 20s, early 30s, then again early 40s, again early 50s, and it goes on. The more power you take on at a younger age, the greater the tests are, but also the greater the soul's mission. And again, you positioned yourself to find things out that most people your age are not interested in. This, without getting you any kind of puffed up energy, is just saying you've come here to do a big job. So
Yes.
keep your feet on the ground.
Yes.
Do you draw?
No. I've
Do
been thinking about it though the past 3 days.
Do you play a musical instrument?
I can. I was also thinking about that the past few days as well.
Both of these will be very good for you to do. Are you interested in writing?
I just started journaling again.
Eventually you will be a writer. We see that not till at least 10 more years, but that is one of your roles, is to write, to be able to present this. But we say the artistic side for any Pisces is essential, because Pisces can get mixed up and very lost.
Mm-hmm.
It is the sign of self-undoing. And so if you could find some way to regularly ground yourself and to create beauty,
Mm-hmm.
that is real, whether it is music or art or some such, this will help you tremendously to ground your dreams in. Eventually move to gardening or decorating or bringing beauty into 3D reality, something concrete that you can see, or to help other people do beauty will be very rewarding, because beauty opens the psychic senses.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. You know, it's a great pleasure to be able to help all of you, whether you are on this side of leaving or this side of coming. It is our duty, really, and we get graded on our actions with you. Believe us when we say that we are not at the top of the chain at all. We have our own teachers that chastise us or reward us for how we engage with you. Who has a question?
Please, this is Brian.
Brian.
I have a real quick question about the dream state.
All right.
Sometimes when I'm falling asleep, or I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm in that hypnagogic state, I will see very vividly colored lights. Sometimes there'll be red dots, extremely precisely formed like a crystal. Other times I'll see different colored lights coming down, and I'll just watch them. It's quite entertaining. And
Your eyes are open or closed?
They're closed.
They're closed, and this is just as you're coming out of dreaming?
Correct.
So you are sort of landing the plane
Yes.
of consciousness, coming from delta to, or potato back to P,
Right.
and you see these lights.
And it's sometimes when I'm falling asleep, but mostly when I wake in the middle of the night, and I'll keep it in that state, and I'll watch it for a long time, and I feel as if I'm downloading some data from somewhere. Is that possible?
Yes, of course it is. Basically, the mind will fill in the blanks, so that you know you've all had silly dreams, where puppy dogs are chasing kernels of corn or something ridiculous, or shoelaces get up and start dancing, and you think, what, my mind is just full of frivolousness. But especially as you come closer to consciousness, or the beta state, or P, the mind starts to fill in the blanks. It wants you to know something happened, and it will use symbolic language, symbolisms, to let you sort of interpret what transpired. So lights, colored lights. Light is a symbol of a carrier for information. So basically, Brian, what you have been involved in for many years now is extreme downloads of information. Now, this does not happen every evening or every nap that you take. It will go in waves. Many of you will get these downloads for 2-3 weeks, 3 months at a time, and then maybe a year, and then it sort of lets you rest. Sometimes you can feel it as if something's filling you right up. Acknowledge it. Always say hello. Acknowledge, oh, I see what's going on. And if you can, if you want to, direct it or ask for what you want. The more you acknowledge that something's going on, even if you don't know what it is, you are starting to neurologically stir your own intelligence. And this is so very important. So you are receiving a tremendous amount of support for what you are doing. And we'll add this. If any of you are in a position where you are assisting the growth of humankind, you may be volunteering at a soup kitchen. You may be doing readings as George Ward does. You may be like Cherry Lee, holding the Dancing Moon open for people to learn from. You may, however you operate, if you are helping humankind to alleviate their difficulty and raise them into greater comfort, even if it's just on a physical level, the quality of the energies that are going to be working with you are very different than those who are working on Wall Street just to make money for themselves and screw the public. You follow this? Those people are not going to have very arousing dreams. Their dreams may be focused on getting them out of there. Your dreams are going to give you greater abilities, greater strength. So in conclusion, the hidden design of reality has many facets to it. We've given you a lot of information, and there's much more to come. Bottom line, be respectful of your physical body and who you are. The body has great adaptability to move into health and higher vibration. Sometimes physical discomfort is an initiation to slough off the old so that you can come into something new. This is the Chinese year of the wooden horse. Be careful for Trojan horses. That's the wooden horse in your history. And then you've had wooden horses that are your rocking horses from childhood, that were fun horses. So be mindful that the entirety of the planet is moving into new territory. Some of you will ride courageously. Some of you will ride with dignity. And some will fall off. Get back up and get back on and keep going. And use all that you have, all the energy that is around you, to create what it is that's in your heart. And if you don't know what you want, then just ask for goodness. Ask for a good life. Ask for peace, harmony, friendship, joy, and a good dose of abundance. It's been our great pleasure, and we will see you again on the highways and byways of multidimensional existence. Good afternoon.
Thank you.